Right, welcome back to another Supernatural Convention video. You guys have been asking for it. And all the other videos have been just far too short in my eyes. I get into it, I get excited, and then they end. And I'm like, well, dang, what's going on here? So, we're here today with J3 radiating dumbass energy for 19 minutes straight. I'm excited because even though it says 19 minutes straight, the video is nearly 20 minutes, which means it's not just going to end as soon as I'm getting excited. So, strap yourselves in, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself something to eat, something to nibble on, and I'm really excited for this stuff. So, before we get started, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I can't wait. My face, I've did some facial warm-ups, you see. I was like, you are, to make sure that when I smile for the whole thing, it doesn't hurt my face. Now, that's a complete lie, but I should think about doing that. Let's see what you're saying then, lads.
Because at the end of season 11, Amara says, I'm going to give you what you need the most to Dean. And of course,
straight legs.
I would think, yeah. Who needs that?
You say straight legs?
You can keep your straight legs. I like the bow legs. Bow legs for life. It's like you just got off the horse.
I feel like I've missed something there. Someone explain the bow leg things. Does Jensen have bow legs or something? Oh, they got Starbucks?
We love you the way you are, Jensen.
Yeah, I know. I think. Excellent question.
I'm gonna go with.
Oh, and we would have had an extra tool in the trunk, a bat wrapped with barbed wire, so that would have. Dad loved that thing. That was cool.
We
by
are
the way.
eager.
Yeah.
I haven't seen these since that was on the television. That was super cool.
So did I tell you how that happened? So our third AD, Lee, one of our assistant directors, it was Halloween last year, and he was going to go as Negan for Halloween. And so he got the bat, and he, got the barb, did the whole thing. Like, he put some time into it. And so I asked him, I was like, oh, I want to see the bat. And so he brought it up to me, and I was like, I kind of have to take a picture of this. So that's where it came from, yeah.
Yeah, but how did you get it in the show?
Oh,
because you worked it into an episode.
So it was after the picture that
Yeah, after the incident.
And the writers saw that, and they're like, well, we're using that.
That was awesome. And I was waiting, because AMC can kind of be assholes about stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Oh, sure.
You can wait for them to come down on that.
No, the creators of the show, of Walking Dead, when they saw it, just thought it was the greatest thing ever. Yeah.
There are cameras out there.
Oh yeah, we'll delete that. No. AMC is awesome.
I'm so thankful for them.
They're also precious about their Walking Dead, as they should be. Just like CW is a little precious about Supernatural.
No, they're great. CW is great.
AMC is awesome. A finer network has never been out there. And they treat me well. Oh, I'm so fired. Well, that's the end of Negan. Let's bring John back.
Woo!
But it would be nice to have him back when AMC fires him.
AMC's awesome. In case I didn't mention it earlier.
Reeling it back in, he's reeling it back in.
I haven't worked with these guys in 10 years. It's been like at least 10 years. So I think to be able to come back now, or whenever, when AMC sees the video you guys post, because it's been a long time and we've all kind of grown. We were young. They were really young when I was last on the show. Now everybody's got kids and we've kind of figured out a little bit how to do our job. Parenting.
fair enough.
I might be a better dad now.
Or at least understand it.
Yeah. And I'm super blind right now, too, in my life, so I couldn't read Post-its on your forehead anymore.
Have you ever told that story?
No, but I saw that you guys have told that story.
Yeah, of course we have.
We never heard it from you, though.
I remember the day.
Oh, yeah.
The problem, I was doing Grey's Anatomy and Supernatural at the same time, and then I was just... That guy's dead, too. And then ABC, another great network, by the way.
The backstory is...
Is it Grey's Anatomy?
Oh, yeah, it's still all good.
You
got like the Midas touch.
the backstory is, if you're an actor on a show, you have what's called a turnaround. So if you film until midnight, they can't bring you until noon. That doesn't...
Which is a union contracting.
That's not the case if you're on two different shows.
No, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care, so they'll fly you. And you were going like, you were doing Grays until 4 a.m.
Yeah, and then I would come in and then I'd be with these guys, and then I would just break into fits of giggles half the time. I mean, literally, I would have my lines like on their foreheads and stuff because I just couldn't memorize it all. And they, needless to say, gave me a ton of shit. Yeah. And still, 13 years later, I'm hearing about it.
Absolutely.
But now, because I'm blind as a bat, I can't do that.
You actually have to memorize.
I have to memorize my lines. And Negan, AMC,
talks a lot.
AMC's awesome. Negan doesn't shut up, like ever. On the drive here this morning, I came in from my farm, and I have a 12-page monologue tomorrow that starts at 4:30, and no one says anything but me.
So I used to do a lot of acting back in the day, a lot of uni stuff, and memorizing lines for me I just was like, ugh. But I managed to get through them. You knew what you needed to say if you were on stage. A 12-page monologue, I could never do it. I could never do it. Not in a theatre show. Not in a musical theatre show. I needed to be like, I'll read my lines backstage halfway through. Like, if it's in a film though or a TV show, I guess it's different, isn't it? Because you can like cut when you forget and stuff. But still, 12-page monologue, hella difficult.
Oh, spoiler alert. Oh yeah, nigga's still alive, motherfucker.
I
love AMC.
AMC.
I can't wait to see it, but that's like my definition of a nightmare.
It's
a 12-page.
Well, and I get it like with 2 days notice. Yeah, it's
Love AMC.
fun. And I'm blind, so no cheating.
If I don't have
Wow.
that,
And they like their words to be said
As is. Ooh. Really? Ooh. See, that's one thing that we've established over the years is the writers give us a lot of leeway when it comes to they'll write something and it's kind of more of a suggestion.
if you get in the ballpark.
Yeah, they're like, you guys, this is the point we're trying to make. If you need to put it into your own words, feel free.
And I think that's
the
as it
best
should
way,
be, and I think that's a testament, one, to you guys as actors. They trust you. No one trusts me, obviously.
obvious reasons.
Let's not have Jeff improv at all. What's this scene about?
Just read the lines, Jeff. I can't read. I'm blind.
Who am I supposed to hit? Where does Lucille go?
Swing around.
That's all I need to know. I can kind of make out faces.
Said that the Winchester brothers are
Cursed because of all the mirrors they broke in Bloody Mary. Oh, it's going to be an interesting story. Can we get some love for Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the chat? In the chat? I'm not streaming right now. In the comment section below. What a slip up. Segue, make sure you go follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Cabalistic Species.
cursed. Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that all the mirrors were broken in Bloody Mary?
Yes, but that would have only lasted for 7 seasons.
no, you broke like 100 mirrors.
That's true.
Yeah. So we're out of that period now. It must have been something else a while ago.
That's why it's been rosy since season 8, right? That's pretty funny. I never thought about that.
You broke multiple mirrors, so it's
We
going to
did.
be multiple.
Did they compile?
Yes.
Break two?
Oh, it's so for every mirror you break is in the 7 years? Oh yeah, no, then we're screwed. That's, I think you nailed it.
Stop breaking mirrors and this show could end before you're 97. It could end on a happy note.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Woo! The mirror thing's behind us.
Supernatural, the senior years.
Do you know how many we broke?
A lot. The entire room.
A lot,
The
right?
entire room.
If I remember correctly, it was more Sam that broke them. Just saying.
That's why you can't have nice things.
Yeah, that's why we don't have nice things. That's true.
Or girlfriends. Or girlfriends.
My question for Jensen. In the first 2 seasons, your voice is really high.
This is balls, Bob. I can answer this for you.
Yeah, it's called puberty.
So it wasn't you. You didn't do that purposely.
No, actually, I'm glad you asked that because the reason I now have medical issues with my throat is because this guy. I thought, okay, well, Dean looks up to his father so much. And Jeff had this very kind of baritone, deep voice.
Sexy.
And I thought from a character standpoint, I'm like, well, that's where he needs to end up at some point. So I started lowering the register kind of slowly and slowly.
Is that true?
Yeah. Really? Yeah. And that's what started it. And then as I kind of course, as I got older, my voice just naturally kind of got deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And so what's funny now, because it was last year, I was the same age as he was when we did the pilot, and I was like, oh, okay, this must have been what it felt like to have this voice. Yeah, to hit puberty at the age of 35. But originally it was a conscious effort to kind of follow his lead, and it's just kind of led me to here. So
Yeah, me too.
yeah. Well, and then Jared didn't want to be left in the dark or left behind, so he was like, well, wait, if you're going low, I'm going low.
Exactly. And to be on the show with Jensen, who's using his low register, Mark Shepard, who's like, what are you? Misha doing his cast voice.
Raging from perdition.
I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? I just have a normal voice. Like, am I supposed to like, dude, what's up, dude? That's been a fun show to be on.
The original,
I feel like the Soprano of the cast.
the original tagline of the show was save me, hunting things, save me people, the family business. So I said that in season 1, that tagline. They used that tagline for promos for years. I had to, I think it was a year or two ago, I had to go back and re-record that line.
Because your voice had changed.
Because it was like, hunting things, saving people. And so I had to re-record it so that they could use it. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Deeper voices are just always better. I wish my voice was deeper. When I wake up in the morning, it's nice and deep. I'm there like, well, hello there. And that's whenever I have a voice like that, I go record my story times. If you haven't seen it, there's a playlist on my channel for story times where I read stories in my deep, nice, bassy voice. But yeah, I know where he's coming from, because I also started with a higher voice, and then I just slowly started getting deeper and deeper, and puberty hit, and then I was like, well, I want to have an even deeper voice. And then I started finding out about home free, so I tried to start singing lower, and it was a great old time. So now we can get bass.
Dean's cell phone number and erase it. Yes. Yeah, were you guys privy to that situation?
Did anybody
you guys
call
know what it was, right?
Did anybody text it? Because we read about 300 text messages. I should you not. Shoot you not. I shoot you.
Not.
Not.
Yeah, we have. Did you explain it on?
No, not until right now.
So we're sitting on set. We both have
We have character
phones that the props department is in charge of, and they have to be, they activate them. They really just make them, like they load them up with minutes. It's not like it has a whole service plan or anything like that. They just load them up with minutes because we actually do use them on occasion for real. Like I will be on the phone talking to somebody else who's reading lines through the phone and having a phone conversation. So in that regard, they actually have to be activated and working. And we got new phones recently. Our characters got new phones recently. And so we were playing with this new iPhone.
No, your phone started ringing randomly.
Oh, that's right. So we're sitting on set, and all of a sudden, Dean's phone starts ringing, and I'm like, what the?
What was that?
Goddess?
Maybe that's the person who called me. And so it comes up with this number, and it was a Vancouver number. So I thought it may have been.
He showed me. He's like,
I'm like, somebody's calling me right now. And I thought it was our props person. I thought it was Robin. She was talking. I looked over and she's not on the phone. And I'm like, who's calling you right now? And he's like, answer. And they were like flipping a lid. We were literally sitting on set, like we're on our marks, like we're just about to roll camera and stuff. I'm like, all right, I'll answer. Hello. And it was some woman. She's like, is Charles there? I'm like, no, you got the wrong number. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, no problem.
Is Dee Winters?
So then I hang up. Brainchild over here. So, I wonder what would happen if we tweeted that number out. I wonder how many phone calls we get then. And I'm like, do it.
So he calls.
So I called his phone number. So that he had the number, and then he immediately cut and pasted that one over to his Twitter. And what was it? Within 3 seconds?
I think short. It was pretty quick.
It was almost immediate.
And we were like, the crew was watching us because we were being silly. And like,
well, I looked over at Robin, who was really more of like our stepmom. She's responsible for like giving us machetes and stuff like that. And inevitably, if you give a guy a machete and there's things to hit or stick the machete into, inevitably it's just like.
So like stick a machete into the wall.
That's just like, I'm right here. Stop it. She's really become like our mother. But so as Jared's reading out the phone number, I look over to Robin. I'm like, she's like, and she's just like mad dog. She's just like, what are you doing?
I know you're doing something.
I know you're doing something. What are you doing?
Damage is done already. So,
and then immediately it's like, ring, and it's just the screen couldn't keep up with the number of text messages and phone calls.
And it took me a second to realize I've deleted text messages in the past, or tweet messages, whatever they're called, but I don't readily remember how to do it, so it took me a second to pull it off. But by then, I think we had, so phone calls started coming in. We were trying to answer them, but when a phone call would come in, all of a sudden a notification of a text message would pop up, and you couldn't close the text message as fast.
I was trying to hit speakerphone so that we could talk together to whoever was trying to call us, and I couldn't get the screen to hit speakerphone to stay on long enough to hit speakerphone before other phone calls were coming in. And so I literally was like, cancel, clear.
Talk loudly. So a few of them we were able to answer, and one we answered was like, hello? Who is this?
This is not Dean's phone.
So we answered, and they're like, who is this?
Hey, Evan, I'm on stage right now. I can't talk right now. But everybody says hi.
And you're on speakerphone.
You're on speakerphone, just so you know, so don't say anything stupid. Do you have any words of wisdom?
Well said.
We're all now better for this conversation. Call you later.
Yeah. And so we'd answer and talk, and they'd be like, "Who is this?" We're like, "Who's this?" Like, "I don't know." And Jensen goes, "You don't know who you are?"
Who is this? Who is this? I don't know. You don't know who you are? No. And then click. And I'm not talking.
And then one of the girls, here's the girl, it ends up being, apparently it's her birthday. She didn't sound like she was fine. She said, yeah.
What?
Have we met Ashley? Does anybody know her? No. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, so we talked to her. She was so sweet. She didn't believe it was us. She's like, I don't know if I believe this, but my friends would certainly not believe it. And so I tweeted, like, nice talking, Ashley.
Oh, yeah.
The double-edged sword is that, like, you know, it was nice to have a cool, kind of crazy moment on set and wish somebody hadn't.
Yeah, she was on, we put her on speakerphone, and at this point now, the camera crew and the sound guys, they're all leaning in going like, all right, what are you guys doing? What's happening? And we put her on speaker, and she's like, it's my birthday. We're like, yeah, happy birthday. And then the whole crew was like, happy birthday, Ashley. And she was like, I don't know if I believe this. But thank you.
Jensen sounded like Morty from Rick and Morty here.
And so that was that.
And then I tweeted, nice talking, Ashley. And some of it's like, oh, that's so cool, lucky girl. And some of it was like, you're married. Like, who is Ashley? And I'm like, Jen, just call me. Like, I'll explain it. I'm here watching your sons and you're talking with Ashley. It wasn't her. She thought it was super sweet. She was like, oh, that's cool. I should do it more often. I was like, well, Robin will get mad. They have to change the phone number. And by the way, whatever they load it up with, you know, you preload phones with like burner phones for $25 or $100.
Oh, yeah, that phone number is now obsolete.
The phone number is now, yeah.
Our props department was like, thanks, now we have to get a new phone.
Yeah, so many came in that the incoming texts and voicemails depleted the account.
All the data and the packet.
However, luckily it was a preload, not like an open-ended package. Was that
Yes, that would have been bad.
How much of 700 text messages gone?
No! Shit! That was not 20 minutes. How? They've just... Honestly, I could sit here and listen to them over and over and over. And just sit and listen. They're so good at telling stories. Right. That was funny, man. That was funny. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I won't keep you guys any longer. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!